Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. We are back with Marian Edmondson. Excited to talk to her. She is an executive, life coach, leadership consultant. Color Your Strengths is the name of her company. And she does have many strengths, wears many, many hats. And again, it's a Ross Edmondson Consulting. It's a coaching consulting company that you are, certified. We're going to talk about the work that you do, how you're helping people on site, virtually, and of course, one-on-one retreats, you name it. She does it. Let me have Marian introduce herself. How are you?
It's good to be here, Jill. As always, thank you so much for having me. So I'm an executive and life coach, as you shared. The name of my company is Color Your Strengths. It's a Ross Edmondson consulting company, but you can find us on our website at coloryourstrengths.com. And the work that I do is strengths-based in nature. So I like to say that we start with what you do well. We start with what you do best, and with what's the least path, or the path for least resistance, right?
Yes.
Why focus on what's difficult? Let's focus on what you already do well and have going for you.
Beautiful. Well, we're excited you're back here today. And I know you were going to talk a little about the workforce and so much more, what's happening out there, people exploring new jobs, the angst of that. And, you really specialize with people that are transitioning to these new type of roles. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah. So my work spans across many different types of experiences, but as it relates to, transition, it can be a matter of you taking on a new role or getting a recent promotion, becoming a leader, a people leader for the first time, or it can be, a situation where you're looking to pivot in your career completely. I know this market has been tough for folks right now, and a lot of the clients that I'm seeing that are contacting me, I hate to say this, but it's not just clients, friends and family too, right?
Yeah.
Are reaching out because this is, they've been impacted, or they're, are leaving a job that they've been with the majority of their career and are just wondering what's next for them. And so I like to say, if you could do anything, what's the thing that you love the most about what you were doing at your job? If the thing you could do all day long, right? If you could just get a lot more of that thing, what would that be? And the reason I asked that question is because Gallup, I'm Gallup certified as a strengths coach. They've done a lot of research, and they've identified that there are 5 clues to talent.
Okay.
Right. So if you're looking and trying to figure out what your natural talents are, there's 5 clues. How much satisfaction does it bring you? Right. So what I just described, if when I'm immediately finished with something, I'm like, how can I get back to doing more of that? I really love that. That is an indication that that's something that is a natural talent for you. Right? Glimpses of excellence is another clue for natural talent, which means that you just have a moment of, let's say, subconscious excellence even, right? Where you may be thinking, how did I do that? I don't even know how I got that done just now. That was so easy for me. I didn't even need to think about it. That's a glimpse of excellence, and that's an indication that you are operating with your natural talents. Flow is another clue of talent. So if you automatically know the steps to something, you don't even need to be told or have instructions, right? Some people could say, when I sit down at a piano, I can just play.
Yeah.
That's flow.
Wow.
And that indicates there's a natural talent there for you. Yeah. I wish I could do that. I can't sit down at a piano and just play.
No, but you have your natural talents. Look what you're doing. This is your natural talent.
But you have your natural. Thank you for that. We all do. That's exactly right. And the other 2 clues of talent are rapid learning and yearnings. So rapid learning is, you seem to pick it up quickly. You may need instructions, but it's something that doesn't take long for you to get, right? The opposite of that is when you're given instructions for something and still it takes you forever to figure out how to master it, how to do it. It just feels like you're walking with 2 left feet. Right? So when you experience that moment of rapid learning where it doesn't take much at all for you to pick something up, you know that you're operating in a space of natural talent. And then lastly, it's yearning. How much do you really desire to do this thing? What are the activities that you're most drawn to? Right? No matter where you are, you're going to be, someone can find you doing this thing, right? Because that is what you love to do most. That's a sign of natural talent. So I tell people, let's start there. Let's look for what comes natural, right? We can do that and explore that even without taking the strengths assessment. The strengths assessment I absolutely recommend.
Tell us what that is again.
Yeah. So the strengths assessment is a report that provides you with the results of what it is that you do best, most naturally, and which talents you're operating from 9 times out of 10, the majority of your day. So you will take a report where you answer a series of questions, and then at the end of the report, I like to say you can get a top 5 report where it tells you what your top 5 strengths are, but I like to give the full 34 report, which actually shows you your natural or talents listed in ranked order from 1 to 34. 34 being the thing that is a lesser talent for you, right? So it's not your superpower, it's somebody else's superpower. And then 1 through 10 being your most dominant strengths and talents, which means that those are your greatest opportunity for success. That if you're using those talents on a daily basis, you are likely to be more successful, more engaged, more satisfied. And so when people are starting to look for a new job, I go, let's start with what you do best. And even if you've never done this specific job before, if it aligns with your natural talents, chances are you're going to be great at it.
Oh, well, that's good to hear. I mean, but it's also a scary walkway, treading lightly on like the change, the unknown. You're good at something, but you got to go elsewhere. What is that process like? I mean, gosh.
Yes. And you're right. You hit the nail on the head with that, which is the anxiety that people are dealing with first and foremost, right? And so I say that the reason why I start with this, with the assessment, with talking about what they do best, is because it starts to build up your confidence a little bit. Yeah, I am good at that. Yeah. Not just talking about what you do well, but let's talk about the actual examples of where that shows up and how that shows up in your life, right? So if my natural talents, my top 5 talents and strengths are indeed strategic, competition, connectedness, relator, and intellection. Those are my top 5 strengths. So for me, that shows up as my strategic is showing up all day, every day. I'm always looking at how many different ways I can get to an end result and what's the best route for me to take. I like to tell people I'm literally a walking GPS, right? And that shows up when I'm driving my car. Yeah. It also shows up when I'm building a development plan or when I am designing a leadership workshop. I'm exploring what's the best approach that I can take to land with this group of people. Where are they? What's going to connect with them? What is it that they really want to take away from this? And how many different ways can I approach the content? And so that is what I like to explore with people, the real life examples of moments in which they've had success operating in that area of strength. And then they start to say, okay, yeah, I have been successful before. I can most likely be successful again.
Well, thank you for that. And the drive, the will, the determination. And by the way, you've been doing this for how long? Just a little bit about yourself. I know it's hard to talk about yourself, but there are new time people, I'm sure, out here watching and listening. So can you just share a little bit of that? Thank you.
Sure. Of course. I'm happy to. So I've been coaching and doing this work on my own for my company, Color Your Strengths, for 3 years now, and a little over 3 years. But prior to that, I had 20 plus years in HR, and where I coached executives, emerging leaders. I designed and developed and facilitated leadership development workshops. And so this is my passion. This is the work that I really love doing and that allows me to operate from my strengths and use my natural talents to help others.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And also continuing the conversation, I just want to remind everyone, color your strengths. Obviously, you are certified. You're helping so many people, and you live actually locally on Long Island, like myself, but you're helping leaders all over the world. So really, you can work with anyone. And now, let me just ask, because you were always working in HR, that was your strong point in a sense, right? How did you develop well, you already had the skills, but to start this company, what was that like to change and to, let people know that sometimes a leap of faith can work with the right guidance and the proper training, right?
Jill, it's such a great question, especially right now, right? Like as we're talking about people being impacted and, maybe losing their jobs and trying to figure out what's the next step for them. For some people, it may be going out on your own and starting something new like I did. I wasn't impacted, but I made a choice, and it was a big career pivot, right? So thank you for asking that. For me, it was, I just wanted to do this work all the time, right? So I had the yearning and the flow that was demonstrated in my Clues of Talent, where I really wanted to coach and help as many people as I could through coaching, through executive and life coaching. I had an executive coach. It was a tremendous source for me, and a big resource and component in helping me to grow in my career as a leader, as an HR executive. And I saw the value, right? The light bulb moments that I saw when I was coaching others and realized the impact that it could have. So I took the leap of faith based on the fact that I was driven to do something I love to do all the time, right? Without all the other stuff that comes with HR. That was what I wanted to focus on. However, I will tell you, there was so many things that I hadn't thought about, right? Starting a business and running a business, marketing myself, networking and what that looks like. Just building an operating model for my business. These are the things that you don't think about or consider, but there's so many resources out there. And my strategic definitely had me, and my intellection had me absorbing information left and right and looking for different ways in which I could educate myself. And so I did that. And it was scary, I'm not going to lie. But focusing on my relator strength and my connectedness strength, which really allowed me to nurture the relationships that I had created over the years, and networking through those relationships, and really led to referral work. And then that referral work led to more of a reputation for the type of work that I do in the industry.
Got it. Oh, thank you.
So this is just an example of how you leverage your strengths to pivot, right? That you can actually do the things that you've never done before, but do it in a way that feels natural for you.
Thank you so much. All right. What else do you want to share with us today, our coach and lady in charge? What else about this world of helping and guiding people do you have in store for us today?
I just want to encourage people that, you're not alone. And it's having a coach is like having a guide or having a support system, someone that you can go to and really talk about. Now, it's sounding similar to therapy. I realize that. And they are both therapeutic in nature. But coaching work is different from therapy in that coaching is focused on helping you achieve your goals and helping you to unlock hidden potential within yourself. Sometimes and oftentimes we're blocked by our negative inner talk, right? The self-doubt, comparing ourselves with others, which is just honestly the thief of joy. Like, don't do it. It's no one else can be a better version of you than you. And so I try to tell people to just own what makes you authentic, because that will be your superpower. It will always be the best place for you to operate. The path of least resistance, right? Is to lean into who you are and what you do best. But, it's understandable that people are nervous in this time and that they're worried about what's the next step for them. I say, work with a coach and help to find out what your natural talents and strengths are. If you're working with a strengths-based coach like myself, we would do that first. And then together, we could explore how you can really bring that to life when you're interviewing, when you're writing your resume, when you're looking for the type of job that's perfect for you. I'll give you an example. I had someone that I met with recently, and he's early in his career. And so, he's looking to just find the right fit for him. And he doesn't have a lot of work experience. So for him, it was, this is the path and the work that I want to do. I think I want to work in insurance.
Mm-hmm.
But when you looked at his strengths report, the feedback that kept coming through loud and clear throughout his report was, it's important for you to work in a casual environment. It's important for you to work in an environment where everyone at any level can add value and can be heard and have a voice. And I said, it sounds like you're exploring opportunities in a very formal work environment. Is that true? And he said, yeah, actually I am. And so I said, I know this is something that's interesting to you, and I don't want to discourage you from pursuing it, but you might want to also broaden your search to things that do speak to an environment or the type of work style that you might thrive in, which is a more casual work style and work environment. Mm-hmm. And so that you have a greater opportunity for success, right? So that's the type of things that we explore together and ways in which I help folks to navigate this market.
Wow. And, this in turn as a parent, right? I mean, it's got to instill, just take me along the lines of now, as parents and, it's like you got to support your family. You got to work hard. That extra added pressure about, really doing well and being successful. It's like, do we instill this in our kids early enough? Should we be coaching our children in career development as well? I'm not sure if you do that, but just curious.
100%. Absolutely. So, they have strengths for students, strength reports. Gallup has offered strength reports for students in college. And I think it's a lot of colleges and universities are starting to provide their students in the career advising departments with this assessment so that they can actually go into the workforce knowing what they do well and what they do best and where they have the best opportunity for success. I think you've hit something really important here, which is, we always focus on the weaknesses, right? What we don't do well and how we can improve that. But when we focus, even with our children, on what they do best, and we encourage them to operate from that space more often, to utilize that talent more frequently in other areas of their life, that's where we start to see them thrive. That's when we're able to engage them thoroughly in whatever it is that they're doing, whether it be school, whether it be activities, or pursuing, what college they want to attend and what career they want to have after that. It's absolutely important for all people in all walks of life. Yep. And can be super helpful. There's no negative to taking a strengths assessment, a Gallup's Clifton strengths assessment, and knowing what your strengths are.
My goodness. Thank you. And what age do we do that? I remember doing that in school. I don't know if it was the same name. Is that possible?
So it was Strengths Finder, Clifton Strengths Finder back in the day. Yes, there was a Strengths Finder assessment, and it is exactly the same assessment, except it's been acquired by Gallup, and so there's a more broader reach and ways in which we apply it in leadership development work now. However, it is still the same assessment, and it is able to provide people with their results. What we encourage is that you don't take the assessment more than once within at least 5 years. If you're going to take it again, you want to wait till at least 5 or more years, because the only thing that's going to really change is going to be based on what's gone on in your life, right? What you do naturally is at your core. But depending on what you're going through, what you're experiencing, if you've moved, or if your life has significantly changed, or you've changed jobs or expanded roles, you may start to see that you start to rely on different strengths within your top 10 more readily than you did in the past.
Well, I think a lot of I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I think a lot of like people that become parents, it's like you then realize they're the priority. It's not the career. So, and then it's like, well, what job can I now do? It's not what my real strength is. I have to do something else because I can't give that commitment and dedication. And that's also an issue for so many of us parents out there too. Now you got to find something that may pay a little less, may not be exactly for you. And but we still have to work, right? So it's like, yeah.
I get it. Finding that balance, right, is what you're talking about, and figuring out, can I operate in my strengths? Do I have the liberty to do so? And my answer is still going to be yes. Yep. Yes, you do. Even if you have to take a job that is not the ideal job for you, or it's not the job that you would have seen yourself in the past. The best way for you to approach that job is to think about how you can bring your strengths to it. Yes. And make sure that you are operating within those strengths, even at that job, right? I also tell people, don't make the job the one-stop shop and place for you to get your fulfillment in life, right? Find ways to do that and incorporate that in all areas of your life so that you're not relying on one thing, like a job, right? Or one role, like a parent, to fulfill that.
Well, thank you. We still have more time left. What else is on tap for us today with Color Your Strengths?
Yeah, well, I like to tell folks, and I'll tell you today that, I always give a 30-minute free consultation. And so if you you're thinking about working with a coach and you're not exactly sure what it might entail or if it's really for you, I always say, listen, let's just set up the time to talk. You may decide or discover in that conversation that you don't need a coach. You might need a therapist, or you may decide, you know what, I think I can go it alone. Or you may determine that we have really good chemistry and this is something that you could see helping you and really making an impact in your life. And we explore how we can build that connection together. I definitely work with people. I know that this is a tough market. And so, I make arrangements so that it's feasible for you as far as like pay scale and so on. And so I encourage people to reach out if they think in any way, shape, or form it could be beneficial to them.
Perfect. Well, it's always a pleasure getting to speak with you and give us some, words of advice out there. And let me ask you, when you're working with someone, do you offer an initial consultation? It's always good to hear.
Mm-hmm. Yes. The initial consultation is the best way to start. It's a free consultation, like you said, for 30 minutes. And I'm happy to, during that time, listen to what's top of mind for you and what brought you to explore coaching. But then we talk a little bit about my approach and what you can expect. I always build some sort of leadership development plan into the work that we do together so that you have a way of tracking your progress and we can ensure that you are continuing to work towards achieving your goals through the engagement. If anything changes throughout the engagement, we pivot, and we need to pivot and focus on something else. We do that as well.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Pleasure having you here as always.
Same here. Thank you for having me. I can be reached at coloryourstrengths.com or Marian at coloryourstrengths.com directly.
All right. And you got me thinking. It's so hard. Like what I feel like I'm really best at, like I don't do much anymore, but I'm still doing this, right? I'm still talking. I'm interacting. I love people. And you got me thinking, what other thing can I do that there's such good interaction, like customer service? I like talking to people. If I lose this job, what am I going to do? You got to help me.
I'm here for you, Jill.
I might have to take the test. I'm like, okay,
the strengths assessment. Yes. I encourage you to do it. I encourage you to do it. And I absolutely would be here for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You have a fantastic day. To all of our listeners, stay tuned. Enjoy your week. Enjoy the weekend. And I'll see you next week, sweetheart. Thank you.
Sounds good. All right. Bye.
Bye. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes two. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.